The story begins with a jolt. Like a glass shattering on a quiet night. Meet Emily Harper, a 14-year-old girl with chestnut curls and eyes that hold a storm of unspoken dreams. In the heart of suburban Ohio, 2015. Emily's world is about to unravel in ways she never imagined. Her life, once a cozy patchwork of family dinners and schoolyard laughter, is on the brink of collapse. And the pieces will never fit back together the same way. Emily grew up in a modest split-level home in a Cincinnati neighborhood, where the hum of lawnmowers and the scent of backyard barbecues filled the air. Her family wasn't rolling in wealth, but they weren't scraping by either. Her dad, Tom Harper, was a jack of all trades, carpenter one month, delivery driver the next, always chasing the next paycheck. Her mom, Susan, was the glue holding the family together, juggling grocery lists, school schedules, and a part-time job at a local diner. They were comfortable, not flashy, with enough to cover bills and the occasional pizza night. But beneath the surface of this all-American life, Emily felt like a ghost in her own home. Her younger sister, Ava, 10 years old, was the family's golden star. Ava's report cards were framed. Her soccer trophies lined the mantel. And her piano recitals drew applause from neighbors. That Ava's going places, Tom would boast at cookouts. His chest puffed with pride. Susan would nod, her smile glowing as she recounted Ava's latest A+ essay. Emily, meanwhile, was just Emily. Her decent grades and quiet hobbies, like sketching in her notebook or reading sci-fi novels, barely earned a glance. Emily's doing fine, Susan might say, her tone flat, as if fine was all Emily could ever be. She didn't resent Ava, her sister was just a kid, oblivious to the spotlight, but the constant comparison was a silent wound, festering with every offhand remark. One crisp October afternoon, Emily sprawled on the worn living room couch, sketching a futuristic cityscape in her notebook. The autumn light filtered through the window, casting golden streaks across the room. Susan's voice cut through the quiet, sharp and urgent. Emily, come downstairs, now. Something in her tone, tight, almost cold, made Emily's stomach twist. She set her pencil down and trudged to the living room, her sneakers scuffing the hardwood. Tom and Susan sat side by side on the couch, their faces grim. Susan's hands were clasped tightly in her lap, and Tom's jaw was set, his eyes avoiding Emily's. The air felt heavy, like the moment before a storm. Emily, we need to talk, Susan said, her voice straining to sound calm. Sit down. What's going on? Emily asked, her heart racing as she perched on the edge of an armchair. The room felt too small, the walls closing in. Tom cleared his throat, his voice low and final. We're in a tough spot. Emily, money's tight, tighter than we can handle. We can't afford to keep you at home anymore. The words hit like a punch to the gut. Emily froze, her breath catching. What do you mean? She whispered, her voice barely audible. You're sending me away? Susan's eyes glistened, but her expression stayed firm. We've found a foster home for you. Honey, it's just temporary. You'll be okay. Temporary? Emily's voice cracked. Why me? Why not Ava? The question burst out before she could stop it. Raw and desperate, her mind spun, grasping for something, anything, to make sense of this betrayal. Ava's younger, Susan said, her tone clipped. She needs stability. This is what's best for the family. Best for the family. The words burned, searing into Emily's heart. She wasn't part of that family anymore. She was the expendable one. The extra weight they could cut loose. Tears stung her eyes, but she blinked them back, refusing to let them see her break. So I'm the problem? She asked, her voice trembling with anger and hurt. No one's saying that, Tom snapped, but his words lacked conviction. This is just how it has to be. The rest of the conversation blurred into a haze of excuses and assurances, promises that it was only for a while, that they'd figure things out. But Emily barely heard them. Her world had cracked open, and she was falling through the pieces. That night, as she packed a small duffel bag with clothes and her sketchbook, she felt like a stranger in her own home. Ava peeked into her room, her wide eyes confused, but Emily couldn't bring herself to explain. How do you tell your little sister you're being sent away because you're not worth keeping? The drive to the foster home was silent. The hum of the car engine the only sound. Emily stared out the window, watching familiar streets fade into unfamiliar ones. The foster home, a tidy two-story house in a nearby town, looked welcoming enough, with a neatly trimmed lawn and a porch swing. Mrs. Clara Thompson, a warm woman in her 50s with laugh lines and a soft southern drawl, greeted Emily at the door. "Welcome, Emily," she said, her smile genuine. "You're gonna be just fine here." Inside, the house smelled of fresh coffee and cinnamon. Clara showed Emily to a small but cozy room with a quilted bedspread and a window overlooking a maple tree. Over the next few days, Clara tried to make Emily feel at home, pancakes for breakfast, gentle questions about her interests. Her husband, Robert, a quiet man with a love for classic rock, offered her a stack of old vinyl records to browse. But no matter how kind they were, Emily couldn't shake the ache in her chest. This wasn't her home. Her home was with her parents. With Ava. With the life she'd been torn from. At night, Emily lay awake, replaying her parents' words. "We can't afford to keep you. How could they say that? How could they choose Ava over her?" She clutched her phone, hoping for a text, a call, anything to say they'd changed their minds. But the screen stayed dark. Days turned into weeks, and the silence from her family grew louder, deafening. Emily began to wonder if they'd ever come back for her. One evening, as she sat in the Thompsons' living room, sketching absent-mindedly, Clara sat beside her. "You okay, sweetheart?" she asked, her voice soft but piercing. Emily forced a smile. "I'm fine," but her voice betrayed her. Thin and fragile, Clara studied her for a moment, her eyes kind but knowing. "Life's got a way of throwing curveballs," she said, "but you're here because someone thought you deserved a chance. Not because you did anything wrong." The words hit Emily hard, stirring a mix of gratitude and grief. She wanted to believe Clara, but the truth was too raw. Her parents had abandoned her, and no amount of kindness could erase that. Still, in that moment, a tiny spark flickered inside her, a resolve to survive. To prove she was more than the girl they'd left behind. Picture this. A young woman, standing at the edge of her past, staring into a future she's fought tooth and nail to claim. Emily Harper, now 22, is no longer the broken 14-year-old girl left behind by her family. In the vibrant pulse of 2023 Cincinnati, her story takes a gripping turn, one of betrayal uncovered, bridges burned, and a legacy forged from resilience. Buckle up, because Emily's journey is about to pull you in and hold you until the very last moment. Years after being sent to the Thompson foster home, Emily had carved out a fragile sense of belonging. But the scars of her parents' abandonment lingered, a quiet ache that flared whenever she thought of Tom, Susan, and her sister Ava. She tried to move forward, throwing herself into school, sketching intricate designs, and finding solace in the Thompsons' warmth. Yet, the past was a shadow she couldn't outrun, until one rainy evening. It roared back into her life with a single click. Emily was scrolling through Instagram, curled up on her bed in the Thompson house, when a photo stopped her cold. It was her family, Tom, Susan, and Ava, posing on a pristine Hawaiian beach, their smiles radiant under a golden sunset. Ava, now a teenager, stood center stage, her surfboard propped beside her. The caption read, "Living the dream. Grateful for our perfect family getaway." Emily's heart plummeted. Perfect family? Grateful? The words mocked her, slicing open old wounds. She scrolled further, each post a fresh stab. A luxury resort in Miami. A candlelit dinner in Napa Valley. Ava's new designer wardrobe. This wasn't the struggling family that had claimed they couldn't afford to keep her. This was a lie. A glittering facade built on her exclusion. Rage surged through Emily, hot and unrelenting. She'd spent years convincing herself their financial troubles were real, that her sacrifice had saved them. But this was betrayal, plain and cruel. Her hands trembled as she deleted every trace of them from her phone, photos, messages, even the old birthday texts she'd clung to. She opened Instagram and typed a post, her fingers flying. "I've learned to live without anyone's approval. My story is mine, and I'm writing it my way. She hit post, her heart pounding. It wasn't just a statement, it was a declaration of war against the past. That moment marked a turning point. Emily threw herself into her future with a fire she hadn't known she possessed. At 18, she earned a full-ride scholarship to Ohio State University, a prestigious school that felt like a dream she didn't deserve. Moving to Columbus, she juggled a rigorous engineering program with part-time jobs, barista at a bustling campus coffee shop by day, math tutor for high schoolers by night. Every paycheck was a brick in the foundation of her independence. Proof she didn't need her parents' empty promises. She joined the debate club, her sharp mind and quiet confidence turning heads. What started as a shy freshman's experiment became a passion, with Emily leading her team to regional championships. Her voice steady as she argued complex topics. Her ambition didn't stop there. In her junior year, Emily's innovative project on sustainable urban design caught the eye of a professor, landing her a spot in a prestigious academic exchange program in Copenhagen. Stepping off the plane in Denmark, she felt a rush of disbelief. This was her life now, worlds away from the girl who'd been discarded. She soaked in every moment, cycling through cobblestone streets, sketching Scandinavian architecture, and debating global issues with students from across the globe. For the first time, Emily saw herself not as a victim, but as a creator of her own destiny. Fast forward to June 2023. Emily's graduation day at Ohio State. The stadium buzzed with cheering families, the air thick with pride and possibility. Emily stood in her cap and gown, clutching her diploma, a mechanical engineering degree earned through countless late nights and unwavering grit. As she scanned the crowd, her eyes locked on a sight that stopped her heart: Tom and Susan, standing awkwardly among the sea of faces. Ava beside them. Susan waved, her smile hesitant, as if testing the waters. Emily's stomach churned. After 8 years of silence, they dared to show up now? Susan approached first, her voice syrupy. Emily, sweetheart, you've done so well. We're so proud of you. Tom nodded, clapping a hand on her shoulder like a proud father who'd never left. We've always thought of you. You know. Emily's blood boiled. Their words were hollow, a cheap attempt to rewrite history. Why are you here? She asked, her voice low but sharp, cutting through their facade. The crowd's noise faded. It was just her and the parents who'd betrayed her. We just want to reconnect, Susan said, her smile faltering. It's your big day. My big day? Emily's laugh was bitter. You left me without a word. Told me I was a burden. I haven't been your family for years. Her voice trembled, but she stood tall, every ounce of pain fueling her resolve. Ava, now 18, stepped forward, her face a mix of guilt and defiance. Mom, Dad, stop it, she said, her voice firm. Emily's right. You didn't just leave her, you lied to her. You told her it was about money. But you were living it up. Traveling, spending on me. She deserved better. The words hung heavy, a truth neither Tom nor Susan could deny. Susan's eyes darted to the ground, and Tom's jaw tightened, but they said nothing. Clara Thompson, who'd been watching nearby, gave Emily a quiet nod, her presence a steady anchor. In that moment, Emily felt a shift. The anger that had burned for years didn't vanish, but it transformed into strength, into clarity. She didn't need their apologies or their approval. Her family was the Thompsons, her friends, the community she'd built. Emily walked away, her diploma in hand, leaving her parents in the dust of their own choices. But her story doesn't end with triumph over the past, it grows into something bigger. Inspired by her own journey, Emily founded Rise Up Financial, a nonprofit dedicated to empowering teens from struggling families. Based in Columbus, the organization offered workshops on budgeting, saving, and investing. But it was more than that. It was a safe space where kids could share their stories, find their voices, and believe in their futures. Emily poured her heart into it, recruiting financial experts and mentors, watching the community grow from a handful of attendees to hundreds. Local businesses took notice, offering grants that turned her vision into a movement. When Tom and Susan reached out months later, pleading for financial help after their lavish lifestyle crumbled, Emily didn't hesitate. You made your choices, she wrote in a single, curt email before blocking their numbers. Forgiveness, she'd learned, didn't mean letting toxic people back in. It meant freeing herself to love the life she'd built. Emily's story is a testament to resilience, to the power of redefining family. The Thompsons, her debate teammates, the teens she mentors, they're her true kin. Bound not by blood but by loyalty and love. From a girl abandoned at 14, Emily has become a force. A beacon for others that the past doesn't define you. It fuels you. As she stands in her office at Rise Up Financial, planning the next workshop, Emily knows one thing for sure. She's not just surviving, she's thriving. And she's lifting others with her. What do you think of Emily's journey? Could you have walked away from a past like hers? Share your thoughts below. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories of courage and transformation that'll keep you hooked.